And so I invite you right now to join me in reading our mission statement that's on the front of your bulletin. We are a sanctuary where people can discover and reveal the presence of God within their own being and experience their oneness with all life. Through the realization of this inner presence of love and peace, we give way to the evolutionary impulse of the divine and become a beneficial presence in the world. That's what we are doing here at Living Beyond Limits, is we are waking up to our own divine nature, to our own spirit, which actually connects us with our own heart. And as we are aware that we are spiritual beings and feel connected to our spiritual nature, we come to the world differently. And as we learn, and it changes our consciousness that we are one with that one, which means we are already intricately and infinitely connected to love and peace and wholeness and power and goodness, we come to the world differently again. We come to the world with more peace and more love and more kindness and generosity, more grounded, more anchored in our own beingness. Then we're not knocked off balance so easily. Doesn't mean we don't ever get knocked off balance, but we come back to center more quickly and more easily so that, again, we can be that beneficial presence in the world. So I say thank you to every one of you as you continue walking this path and bringing your spirit into this world, waking up to that which is within you all the time and bringing that into the world. Thank you for that. Yeah, happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. You know, I think for many of us this weekend really is the kickoff to summer. You know, and it's a time to have barbecues and to spend time with friends and to be outside and to celebrate the weather getting warmer. And it is also a time to memorialize and to honor and to celebrate our fallen soldiers on this Memorial Day. If you don't know, Memorial Day officially began in the year 1860 in the wake of the Civil War. And it actually was celebrated in spring because that's when the flowers are blooming. And people were encouraged to put flowers on the graves of and to celebrate and honor those men who had given their lives in war. So this Memorial Day, we honor those soldiers. And for me also, I honor all of our military, the people that have served in the past and the people that are serving now. We are grateful to those people that served in the military, grateful for their commitment, grateful for their contribution and their bravery and the sacrifice that they made for this country and for us, because in part it allows us to live the lives that we are living today. It has served us, and so we give thanks for that today. General George S. Patton, who served during World War II, said, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived." And isn't that really what we're doing when we express and feel our gratitude? We're so grateful that they lived and gave the gifts that they gave. And personally, I don't know about you, but personally, I don't consider myself a super patriotic person. And I think that's because I really live my life with this spiritual perspective and looking through spiritual eyes. And due to my commitment and just my perspective, that spiritual perspective, my spiritual practice, it kind of supersedes my sense of nationalism. Because I really live with this perspective that this entire family on this planet is part of my family. I live out of this sense of oneness and unity and connection, oneness with everyone on this planet. And so my love of humanity, my feeling of oneness with humanity, that foundational belief that I stand on of oneness, the ideology that I'm here to be a beneficial presence and here to bring spirit into this world supersedes any sense of separateness that I have, any sense of otherness that I have from people that are in other countries. And so Ralph Waldo Trine, who was an early New Thought writer and philosopher, said, "Patriotism is a beautiful thing. It is well for me to love my country. But why should I love my own country more than I love all others? If I love my own and hate others, then I show my limitations, and my patriotism will not stand the test even for my own. If I love my own country and at the same time love all other countries, then I show the largeness of my nature. A patriotism of this kind is noble and can always be relied on." And so I just love all people. That's where I come from. And so because I am a minister, I tend to have kind of a larger perspective and try to, but I really usually do have a larger perspective and a little bit higher perspective and a spiritual perspective to what's going on in the world, to the holidays that we have, to the celebrations, to whatever it is that's going on in the world at any given time. Eric Burden said, "On Memorial Day, I don't want only to remember the combatants. There were also those who came out of the trenches as writers and poets, who started preaching peace, men and women who have made this world a kinder place to live." And so I want to celebrate that also. I want to celebrate all of the good and the contributions that people have made to our lives, to this country, to this world, that have made our lives better and easier and fuller. So rather than this Memorial Day being a day only to remember those fallen soldiers or only to remember the military, I also want to remember all of those other people that contributed to our lives. Honor them. Honor the high vision that people have had to the contribution of a better world and a better life for us. Those who have made a contribution through science, through politics, through technology, education, medicine, the arts and philosophy, and of course all of those inventors. For they have made life better for countless people in this country and in all countries. They have made our lives easier because of their creativity and their hard work. We, each of us, are standing on the shoulders of so many people who have gone before us. We are standing on the shoulders of many who have contributed to our lives and to us in ways that are large and small. Contributed to our lives, to our country, and to this world. And because we are spiritual beings, we need to experience our appreciation. It opens our hearts. It opens us up. And when we're connected to our hearts, we're automatically connected to our spirit. And so we need to be in gratitude and experience that gratitude for the good that's in our lives. We need to notice it. We need to feel it. We need to savor it. All of that makes our lives richer and better and fuller. And as you know, as human beings, we tend to get so focused on what isn't working and what we don't like. We tend to be so busy in doing all the things that we have to do and how long that list is and getting to the next thing. We get into the routine of our lives, whatever that daily routine is, that oftentimes we don't take the time to experience our appreciation, to think about and to notice how grateful we are for all of those gifts that we have been given. We don't even notice them. We don't notice our gratitude. We don't take the time to acknowledge our gratitude and the gifts. We don't take time to acknowledge all of those people that have gone before us and all that they contributed. Instead, we just take that for granted. But Eric Butterworth reminds us that gratitude is a requisite for high-level wellness. Gratitude serves us. And so thinking about the people that have come before me and all that they have contributed in conjunction with 2 weeks ago, we were without electricity for 13 hours at my house. I start with Thomas Edison and how grateful I am for his tenacity, for his curiosity. He created the light bulb and the distribution of electricity. He is responsible for that, which allows me to light my house and do whatever I want at any time of the day or night, allows me to run a refrigerator and to blow dry my hair and to vacuum my house and all those things that we can do. We are also standing on the shoulders, and I give gratitude for Willis Haviland Carrier. Do you know what he did? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys know that. He invented modern day air conditioning. Anyone grateful for air conditioning? Teddy Roosevelt, who created our national park system, who set aside the most beautiful places in our country so people throughout all of time can enjoy them and they won't be destroyed. Emily Cady Stanton and the suffragettes, who worked for decades that enabled women to have the right to vote. Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, and W.E.B. Du Bois, who paved the right way for equal rights, for racial equality, for social justice, and equity for everyone, regardless of your race. I am grateful to and for Richard Nixon, who created the EPA and actually created standards for the Clean Air Act in 1970, that created standards for automobiles and how much pollution they can put out. Do you remember in the 70s how bad the air was? Jonathan, you don't know this. How it burned your eyes and how much smog, and there were smog days when kids couldn't go out on the playground and play. That change is because of the Environmental Protection Agency and Nixon and that Clean Air Act. I am grateful for Ernest Holmes and my minister, Reverend Diane Borsakowski, who helped me be able to live a spiritual life and have spirit at the center of my life, and to recognize and know that I am at choice all the time because I choose out of this infinite potential of the universe, and that life supports me, and how different my life is because of that. And lastly, I'm grateful for my Grandma Margot, who taught me that I could believe in myself. And she was the one that did that, and how grateful I am for that. So I think Memorial Day is a perfect day to memorialize all of those people also. The people who made a positive impact in our lives, who made a positive impact in our country and in the world. I think it is also the perfect day to recognize how Spirit is evolving itself through humanity. That all of those choices, all of those inventions, all of those things that have happened is Spirit pushing forward through humanity to be expressing as greater and greater good, greater and greater freedom, greater and greater love, the truth of oneness, the truth of power. It's Spirit unfolding itself. For the nature of life is always to express itself in ever greater ways. And so the title of my talk today is a totem pole. And I'm talking about how we are standing on the shoulders of people that came before us. It's like we are stacked up like this totem pole, standing on all of those shoulders. I'm talking about honoring the people upon whose shoulders we stand, and how honoring them enriches our lives. Honoring them makes us realize how blessed we are. Honoring them makes us recognize how good we have it. We forget how good we have it. It reminds us also, I think, of the importance for us to contribute, for us to be shoulders for people to stand on that come after us, to pay attention to what legacy we want to leave, where we fit in that totem pole for the people that come after us. It calls us to be those shoulders to stand on. And so, to whom in your life do you feel grateful for? Think about it. Who do you feel grateful for because of the positive impact that they have had on your life or in this world? Who is it that has enabled you to be who you are, or your life to be what it is? And so you have a little green sheet in your bulletin that I invite you to take out. If you don't have one, will you raise your hand? We've got 2 that don't have one. Colleen will give that to you. The little green sheet should have been in your bulletin. Did you not get a bulletin? Colleen has some. And so that first question says, to whom do you feel grateful for? That because of the positive impact they have had on your life or in the world. Or another way to phrase that question is, who has enabled me to be who I am, or for my life to be what it is? And so I invite you to make a short list. And then I invite you to turn your paper over. Upon whose shoulders do you stand? And now what I'm going to have you do is you have a clipboard and a Sharpie. And I want you to choose one of those people upon whose shoulders you stand and to write it on your ribbon. So I think taking that time just to notice whose shoulders we stand on makes us realize honestly that we all stand on each other's shoulders. All of us. Our lives would not be what they are without those so many people in our lives, especially those ones that we named right there. And how important it is for us to be those shoulders for people that come after us. I think noticing that contribution opens our hearts and makes us grateful and makes us recognize how rich life is. I think it inspires us to live with purpose, to bring our best selves to life, to be a good example for other people, and to, of course, be the change we want to see in the world. And so as each one of you stands on that totem pole also, I invite you to ask yourselves, what is it that I want to contribute to this world? To live in that question. To ask yourself, what is it that I can bring to this world to make it not only better in this moment, but better in general and for time behind me also? What do I want my legacy to be? And then, because the thing is you leave a legacy and you make a contribution every single day, moment by moment, choice by choice, action by action, in how we act, how we behave, what we speak about. One of my favorite quotes is by Emerson, and he said, "Don't go where the path may lead. Instead, go where there is no path and leave a trail." That's what we're invited to do. Stand on those shoulders and then leave a trail behind ourselves. As spiritual beings, we need that. We need to give of our spirit. We need to give of our highest selves. That's what we incarnated for. That's what we're here up to. And the truth is, we do that moment by moment, choice by choice. And so my invitation to you is, instead of grumbling about what it is that you don't like, focus on your gratitude. Focus on the amazing gifts all these people before you have contributed to your life. to focus on those gifts and those people and celebrate that and honor that and cherish those gifts. And in turn, you'll feel how rich your life is. And so in closing, just to think about as you move through your day also the legacy that it is that you want to leave when you leave this planet, or even while you're still here. And so I close with inviting you to join me in a blessing of this wreath that we just created, a blessing of this service, an affirmative prayer. And so we just start with gratitude. How incredibly grateful we are for these people who have made such a difference in our lives. These people who have supported us and encouraged us, believed in us, lifted us up, helped us find our own power, our own authentic voice, helping us be the best people that we could be, helping us to live a full and a rich life. Recognizing how grateful we are and how this is actually by divine appointment. That each person in our lives has served us, and for that we are grateful. I just recognize also that omnipresence of Spirit, the one that has been leading us and guiding us and encouraging us and lifting us our entire lives. Saying, yes, this is who you are, to our own absolute potential, our own goodness, our own creativity, aliveness, the blessings and the gifts that we bring to this world. All have been bestowed on us, through us, by life itself. And so we honor those gifts within ourselves today also. We give thanks for the opportunity to be of service in this world, to uplift, to help, to encourage, all of the things that we have the opportunities to do to make this a better world. And so on this Memorial Day, we celebrate all of the good, all of the blessings, and how grateful we are. And so, of course, I also have to say this prayer for every other person in this world, recognizing that the fullness of the presence of that infinite one is right now within every single person, that it fills every home, every place of business, every political office, every single person in every single moment. And right now, there is an expansion of Spirit happening, an expansion of love and of goodness, of oneness, of truth, of light, that humanity is awakening right now to its own magnificence. And so we just see that happening. We accept that to be the truth. We place our faith and our trust in that, recognizing that we are indeed building this totem pole, moment by moment, act by act, choice by choice, and it is good. And so I release this prayer into that creative womb of the universe, knowing that it is unfolding itself right now. And for that I am grateful. And I release this prayer, and I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is. And so, of course, I do have some invitations for you. One is, I hope that bell, too, not just ring it for other people, but when you see it, wherever you put it in your house, that it will remind you of that person who you're grateful for, as well as those other people that you put on your list, just to kind of keep you in that awareness. Also, as Olivia and I were working on this ritual and how we were going to do this and stuff, I came upon the idea, wouldn't it be great if we could actually make totem poles? And you could have like a little face of all those people who you stand on. Wouldn't that be fun? It's like, oh, that would be for a workshop, but wouldn't that be fun to do that? All right, so my invitations to you for real are, we are having a picnic the third week of June, church in the park, picnic afterwards. Just wanted you to put that in your calendar. The last week of June, we are going to, this is November 11th. That means I cut and pasted it and didn't change it. The last Sunday in June, we are going to El Dorado Nature Center and going to do forest bathing, just to put that on your calendar. If you have signed up for the women's retreat and you brought a check today for your deposit, see me about that. Our Sunday talks are available online, and we invite you to check here. I'm going to ask you, what do we invite you to do with Meetup? Say you're going. I'm going. That's what it says. I'm going. Check in and say you're going. Follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. Share the talks. I know that we love this. We all love this so much. The way that we spread the word, is inviting a particular friend, but otherwise it's just every time that posting comes out on your Facebook, repost it so it gets out there, and that invites people to come here so that we can grow. And Barbara has something.
I have a thank you note from the Women's Shelter, and I'd like to read it to you.
Oh, nice.
It says, "Dear Living Beyond Limits, thank you for your donation of 30 women gift bags that we received at their head office." She has a bunch of initials here. "We are truly grateful for your contributions and support to our mission. Never forget the difference you make in the lives of so many when you support the Women's Shelter of Long Beach," and that's sincerely the team.
Nice.
So
Thank
they
you.
always appreciate everything that we do for them. And I want to say thank you so much. We had leftovers. It was amazing. It was like everything just grew until we had enough for 30 bags and then another shopping bag full of extras. So
That we gave to the shelter.
We always give to the shelter anything that we have left over because they hand them out to the women that just come in. So it was a wonderful contribution that we gave them, and they were very happy.
And so not just is being of service fills us up and feels like such a good thing to do too, but we place ourselves into this law of circulation too. That every time that we give, we open ourselves up to receive, and that just happens across the entire world. And I have a hairdressing client who 2 times now has written Living Beyond Limits a big check because we support that women's shelter. That is part of that law of circulation. So just to know that, you are placing yourself in that flow of good as you contribute, as you share of your heart, as you give in the world, and just expanding that in this world. And so I invite you to repeat after me. An abundance of good fills my life now. I recognize it. I savor it. I love it. And I live it. And so it is.